There is a Flashback SBC leaks that is a fan favorite, flashback to, I think, literally last year. People were very excited. We have the official stats as well for her. We've got this new training camp evolution stuff that I kind of want to get into slightly because I do think it might be a precursor for some stuff. And also discuss one of the biggest things related to gameplay right now, and that is that it's becoming more and more known that 95 depth is insane, and that's all you play now. And it's just, the game is so much less fun playing against the computer offside trapping you all game. That's what the whole 4-2-1-3 95 depth is at this point, but we'll discuss that more as we get there. But if you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. Okay, thank you all for joining. We are on the road to 20k, and I guess because we're here, let's just start talking about the training camp evolutions, because it was actually getting really positive reviews. I'm sure most of you saw this, but there was the EA tweet that started this, right? A couple hours before content, they tweeted out saying they'll be releasing training camp evos they passively upgrade it through the web and mobile app. Everyone's like, okay, passively upgrading evos, not have to play games, sure, why not? Then these ones came out and they're not very good, right? You have chip shot, power shot, advanced forward, plus, which some of you maybe would want that, but it's max 88. Like, nah, it's still not very good. Left wing, inside forward, plus, and that is it. But in their article, EA actually mentioned that down here towards the bottom, there will be smaller upgrades during the FUT Fantasy promos. So just be aware of that. They won't be very good, but the reception was still pretty positive towards this. If you guys don't know what it is, you basically just select an Evo on the web or companion app. You have to do it on the web or companion app. And EA set a time, basically, like right here, their examples expires in 28 days. Then that will be when you get the player. And you might think, well, 28 days, there's no way there'll be anything like that. Except they do say here, how long do training camp Evos take to complete? Training camp evolutions can be as short as a few hours to longer than 30 days. Which, it's funny because people said, oh, they can be up to 30 days. No, it says longer than 30 days. It can be not just up to 30, even though I doubt that'll probably ever happen, honestly. But what I do think is the reason that we're seeing this, if you want to get to that part already, it's pretty self-explanatory what these are at this point. If you want to get into kind of why these exist, I think the only reason as to why these exist is because they know evolutions are very popular. It clearly is one of the biggest hits of the last couple years. In fact, it's probably the hit of the last couple years in terms of a new feature, pretty much far and away at this point. Because they know they're so popular and fun, if there's a card that you're waiting for, say for 4 or 5 days, that you put into that Evo, they know they'll get you back on the game in those 4 or 5 days. So basically, it's just another EA tactic to have you hop on more individual days, because they love being able to tell their shareholders that there's people logging on each individual day to play their game. Like, not just, hey, you got people hopping on once a week or a couple times a month or even a couple times a week. No, it's literally every single day we have X amount of people hopping on this game. And this gives you another excuse to, I mean, even up to a few hours later, load up the game again if you got off of it. And that's kind of the whole point of this, I think. Some people said they want people to, you know, go to their companion or web app more often. I don't think that's actually part of it. I think that piece just comes in as a kind of an added bonus to tell their shareholders that, hey, we have X amount of people on our companion app now too, let alone the game itself, of course. And if you guys don't know, EA recently in an article talked about how they want to have an EA app, basically, that was kind of an all-encompassing EA app on a smartphone. And I wonder if they're trying to sell that to the shareholders too by saying, hey, other apps are doing really well recently, and here's why you should believe in us for this new EA app that we're going to make. Just a possibility that might be why too, but I think the main reason is like, hey, you got to hop on more often now. There's an excuse to hop on in more days if you like evolutions. And before I talk about a possible couple of negatives here, we don't know if it's going to come in the game or not. I'm just guessing that they might one day. It's a possibility that they could. But one of the options maybe eventually one day is, hey, you want to not wait those 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 days to get that evolution? Well, you can give us 1,000 FC points and you don't have to wait anymore. I feel like there's a chance that that could maybe happen one day. And just any sort of delayed content like that, I am always not a very big fan of because of that possible outcome there, where maybe over the next 2 or 3 years, we kind of warp into a more training camp Evos or like the norm, because that'd be a good way for them to sell more FC points. You know, I have no idea if that'll happen or not, but just these are possibilities with this kind kind of system that you would hope you wouldn't see, right? So there are a few negatives there, and also it's more risky that if the Evo comes out and it's not very good, then it's like really pointless because you have to wait another, say, 3, 4, 5 days to actually get the card in the first place. So it's actually kind of even worse if the Evo is bad. You got to hope they're good, but I don't know. We have no idea if it'll be really good or bad or not until we've seen it for a while. So what do you guys think about it? But okay, actually relating to our first like leak slash bit of news here, this mixed hero player pick, the mixed icon player pick, they all expire today, or they both expire today, I should say. We do have word about the heroes getting better. We don't have any news about the icon casinos, but the base heroes have been removed from the hero casinos. That'll be coming out today, so no more base heroes in there. It did have some controversy because, as we know, there's a lot of heroes that fit into Evos right now. Pikelme, not sure how I feel about this given how many base cards will fit amazing into Evos throughout the rest of the year. The thing with that is, like, it is true in a sense what he's saying, but also you'd rather, if you're spending money on a gamble pick, to like have all the base heroes out of there, you'd rather have that, I think. However, yes, it kind of brings up that debate once again, where if there's a hero that is really, really good that fits into an Evo, you're not gonna be able to buy him, like odds are. So this is why it's kind of, it's once again the whole sniping debate, where should you reward players for like holding on to cards longer or packing them, or should there be an easier way to kind of go after a card that's extinct that you want to put into an Evo? It's definitely hard to figure out what the best solution to that is, but let me know what you guys kind of think about that. And either way, there will be no more base heroes in casinos probably from now on, I think. But okay, here's the flashback that everybody was happy to see. It is Rolfo. She's back as a flashback SBC, and it's literally a flashback to her FUT Fantasy card from last year. But of course, we literally saw her last year, so you get the complaints again where it's like, oh my god, nothing original, which is true. We did see her last year, but I mean, I'm not going to complain about a card that is going to be very completed, because I'm sure that's what they're basing it off of, is like how many people are going to do the SBC. A ton. And you can see the playstyle plus is the exact same from last year. Trickster and Pinged. Stats not quite as good, of course, because she got like all the upgrades. I'm pretty sure the card was ridiculous, and now this one's going to be very, very similar. And I think I mentioned that these are the official stats as well on her. So yeah, it's going to be a great card. I think what will make it an elite SBC is if she can play center mid and CDM. It's going to be a crazy card. And in other SBC leaks here, if we zoom in, these are the official stats on all of them, by the way. If you guys watched last video, Ashley Cole, his stats didn't look like that, so I don't know if Sheriff got it wrong or if I read it wrong. I thought they were the official stats that we looked at in the last video. Ashley Cole's stats were actually much better. So that's nice there, but bird camps are the exact same to what we saw in the video. Just looks like that there. We saw these three already, but Connor Gallagher down here we've not seen yet. He's confirmed to be an SBC. Some of these are possibly objectives for SBCs, like Teyate could be an objective, same with Brand, but I know Connor Gallagher was confirmed to be an SBC. And then obviously, like, all the rage right now is about player of the month, because we know we're about to get probably a lot of them. The thing is that they're still not coming really anytime soon. Flashback, no warning this time. Sorry, you got to run Tac Mask. EPL winner is on the 14th. Like, I'm seeing graphics all the time where it's like Sala as a player of the month SBC coming during FUT Fantasy, or expected to come during FUT Fantasy. It's like this card is literally 2 weeks away still. Like, we're still so far away from that. The next winner is a Serie A winner. That's on the 6th. So that could be Kolo Muani. Ironically, we just got Kolo Muani. It could be Kolo Muani again. And if you missed it a couple of videos ago, I think these are the nominees plus their goals and assists and record. But yeah, even then, it's still multiple days away, and I'm seeing all this shit about like a Dembele player of the month, right? March 25th. Now, these later dates, this Liga winner could be pushed up by a week potentially, because I think during February it's a little messed up. But either way, I was seeing Dembele player of the month concepts. Like, that's another week beyond the Premier League one, I think. So we'll keep you updated if those dates do change at all. But as of right now, it's a ways away. And I just thought you guys should see this. On this day in FIFA Ultimate Team history, it was FUT Player Days. And if you don't remember what FUT Player Days was, it was like EA kind of giving back to us actually a little bit. I personally remember discount store packs. This is back at the time when like coins, possibly some coin packs were half price. This was back when they, I mean, at least, no, I wouldn't say they cared about us, but they definitely made a better job making it seem like they did. And it's just funny seeing the difference now is like, there's no more FUT Player Days anymore. There's no more celebrating us, I feel like. It's much more corporate, less personal than it ever used to feel, I feel like, during Ultimate Team these days. I don't want to sit here and wag my finger and say, oh, I used to be so good back in my day, but we literally had a promo celebrating us and the fact that, like, we play their game, and that's no longer a thing anymore, because they can probably make more money selling a, I don't know, an Invincible promo, right? An Invincibles promo. D-gens out there will probably love it and open a ton of FC points during that, which for FUT Player Days, maybe they wouldn't have done as much, unfortunately. And guys, gameplay right now, you know, 95 depth, it's getting to that point where everyone's rocking it, and it's just nonsense. This is the same problem we had, I think it was maybe last year at the very beginning of the year where high depth was just insane. EA patched it then. It made it a little bit worse, and now we're back again to square one, right where we were just, I want to say, 14 or 15 months ago. And this Reddit post highlights how he's kind of through on goal past the high depth here, and he just gets caught up to right away, right? So why would you not rock a high depth when there's no real threat of the other team getting in behind? I think what actually is happening here, when you see clips like this, right, I personally think that this right here, yeah, you should be gone, right? I don't know who this player is. I don't know if he has 99 pace or not. I'm assuming he does if he's mad about it. I think what actually happens during plays like these is that there is some sort of like slowdown you get when you receive the ball, and that's not what EA accounts for when they do their pace testing. Because I do think when EA tests this stuff, they'll have a player with the ball and a player without the ball standing side by side. They'll race the two, and now the player with the ball can actually like outrun them if you do it at the right angle, because it is still better than pre-patch. The problem is, though, I don't think EA accounts for this like really heavy touch they take and this really crazy slowdown you get when you receive the ball. Because even just watch this clip back again, when he receives this ball, just look how much slower he goes for that half second. Like, look at those like those 4 steps he takes. We start from the beginning here. There's like the first 4 steps he takes are just in quicksand, just pure slow motion almost, like just perfect time to catch up for the other center back there. So why would you not run 95 depth? And the CPU's offside trapping for you constantly. I mean, it's just nonsense. And the 4-2-1-3 is in dire need of a nerf. I don't think personally the 4-2-1-3 honestly is in need of a nerf. I think that, yeah, it's annoying to play against, but just counterattacks and stuff like that. I honestly have a really easy time beating the 4-2-3-1, or sorry, the 4-2-1-3. You got to just hold the ball. He says here, though, sitting back, absorbing pressure, but it's like, yeah, this absorbing pressure part, you can really do a really good job of making sure he doesn't get you on those counters if you're just not giving the ball away very much. What is in need of a nerf here is this formation, and any formation at all, combined with 95 depth. That is undoubtedly in need of a nerf. And then you got goalkeeper movement, right? Sooner goalkeeper movement is removed, the better. And then you also now have rush out, so goalkeepers can easily, or sorry, I should say easier save shots that they probably wouldn't have used to be able to save. And I've noticed precision shooting, by the way, makes it much easier to shoot past goalkeepers when they rush out at you. It makes it so that honestly it's kind of what it used to be more like. They'll still make some saves, but it's much easier. If you're on base shooting, it's way harder to score against goalkeepers rushing out at you. You can do it, but it's obviously very random. Shot canceling the keeper, pretty much you have to attempt to do. You can't ball roll the keeper anymore, which is a perfect counter that for some reason EA just like, this is partly why I know they don't know for sure what makes good gameplay. Ball rolling the keeper is one of the easiest counters ever to somebody rushing out the goalkeeper, and it's not in the game right now. Why? They've patched it before to add it into the game because it's something that we want. And that was FIFA 23, I want to say. Maybe they patched it into the game, so they know we want it, and they just don't, like, this is why I don't know if they just know what they're doing fully. Maybe it's a different team than it was 2 years ago on the gameplay, but this is why it's very confusing. The direction changes all the time. I don't think they know exactly where to go with the gameplay, at least before the last couple months. I think they're now trying to make it faster. That seems to be the direction they're going in, but prior to that, there was no fucking direction. It was just, as long as it's okay and it works, then sure, like, we'll make our money anyway. And one day they wake up and went, wow, why do we have half the player base we used to have? I don't know. Well, our gameplay, not very good, and we didn't care about it for 3 years, so not surprised. But okay, guys, basically the reality that we're in now is we need to, or at least you need to, if you think you might want to use a hero in an evolution at some point, you got to go and buy them like right now. If you think Fuller, if you think Abidi Pele, if you think Lizarazu, like these random guys, right, can fit into, or Wesley Schneider's a better example, more meta, Vincent Company. If you think they'll fit into an Evo, you have to buy them before they end up fitting in one, because you're not going to be able to when they actually fit into one and look really damn good, because they're going to be extinct, and then you can't go into a gamble pick and try and get them. The reality that we live in now, which I think EA really like this reality because it's just coins hoarded up into your club that you don't really want to get rid of. You want to go and buy that hero that you might possibly want to Evo because you're going to miss out on him if he ends up being really good one day. But okay, fantasy cards, by the way, are almost always great investments. You guys know this by now, but for example, 90 Zaniolo, like the cheapest 90 rated card right now is, guess what? 28,000 coins. These guys can get upgraded. Cheapest 91 is 36k. Now Zaniolo already did fail this, but he's 1 win away from getting a pay +1 overall. They play the 9th of March. So yeah, still a week away, but in a week and a day or two, you might have a 91 Zaniolo that will go up 8,000 coins. Like, you know, it's really that simple. Now it is Napoli and then Juventus on the 9th and 16th there, so they are pretty hard games, but it's risk-free right now. They're 90 base price. Let's go look at that Cucho Hernandez or Segankov. Let's take a look at these two. Real Betis against Las Palmas, 9th of March. What can he do? Win one more game. They win that game, +1 overall. There you go. Better investment right there, even this Cucho Hernandez. So look through there. FUTGG's got all the info you're going to want. There's going to be some good investments in here. Let's read your comments now. We got Eric T, who says, bro, please make a video on how to counter the 95 depth kids. This will be the first video I'm going to make when I can actually make more gameplay videos again. I might try today and see if I'm able to do it. My guess would be I won't be before my CPU comes, so I'm going to try. But that's the first video I'm going to make, is how to counter 95 depth. An agitated mom here says, I don't think you can complain about not having players to put into Evos, like cards that go extinct, right? Because there's many times to buy them. If you want to submit your club into icon picks, then go ahead. But then you can also not submit cards into gamble SBCs and then have more to put into Evos. So it is kind of all a trade-off to a certain extent. I definitely do think that. He says the main thing is patience. I don't think it's unfair that you can't get a card unless it's an SBC that you have missed in the past, but that's a whole different story, and I can agree with that too. So yeah, there probably is no perfect solution, honestly. There probably isn't, but I don't know what you guys think about it. And Rob Futt says, what's TOTS gonna look like with this power curve? 299 face stats and 4 playstyle pluses with 5-5. This is beyond ridiculous. And I do think we're basically leaning towards the future, or at least this is how EA are planning the future, I think, where card stats will reach the top end quicker. Like many of these fantasy cards have crazy stats, but they have 2 playstyle pluses. We know or some of them have 1, obviously. We know playstyle pluses mean more than stats usually. So that is what is going to increase. I think that is the new sort of metric EA look at to judge how good a card is. And that's what, as time goes on, the public will also realize playstyle pluses mean more. So then we kind of all got accustomed to it then. But seeing these stats, yeah, it is pretty crazy thinking about a team of the season. You know, what does that look like? What does anything in the summer look like? It's going to be 95 plus all face stats no matter what, and 4 playstyle pluses. Like, it's going to be crazy cards, which can oftentimes either make gameplay better because players are more responsive maybe, and they are more capable of doing the things you ask them to, or it could expose major flaws in the gameplay. So, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up depending on how good the bare bones is. Like, remember FIFA 23 summer was awesome. Like, it was actually a lot of fun to play. Last year's summer was a fucking shit show. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But, hey, thank you all for joining and being here. Appreciate you all so much. Have a great Sunday. I love you all. Peace.